Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Today I'm going to answer this question. Does fear of choking lead to picky eating? Actually, yes, it does. And let's first understand what picky eating is. Picky eating is this instance where you have a very strong preference over some foods and you really detest some food stuff. Like you have limited options in your menu, and not simply because of like an allergic reaction towards the food stuff, or you have a medical condition which is preventing you from eating some certain food. No, you just have this strong preference of something and you have a limited choice of food. So when you go to a club, you go to a restaurant, you end up really trying to become so choosy on the kind of meals you pick. So fear of choking will lead to picky eating because of some kinds of food may be interpreted by your brain that they are harmful, or they have the capability of making you or causing choking. For example, let's say that choking incident you had in the past, which is affecting you presently, was you were taking carbohydrates or carbs or just something, or bread. So because the mind has now associated bread as something which is a threat to you, like when it sees it, it feels that it feels that you will choke. So what will happen? It will mean that when you are trying to pick your meals, you will not pick bread, not simply because you don't like bread, but because your mind has associated bread with danger. That's the one instance where like your fear of choking may lead to picky eating. The other instance is many people who have fear of choking actually do cope with this fear by blending their meals. So that in itself means that there are some meals which you cannot blend. Let's say unless you have a good blender or something like that. But there are just some meals which you can't blend. You just have to have them wholly. So because you are coping with this fear of choking by taking blended meals, it will mean that you not take those meals which cannot be blended, and then you'll end up preferring the meals which can be blended easily. And as time goes by, this pick eating actually becomes kind of a coping mechanism in itself to avoid choosing those meals which may lead to, or which your mind has deemed as dangerous. So yeah, I know people may say that but picky eating is just my preference, or it can be preference. Yes, of course, sometimes when it's preference, it doesn't come from from an element of fear. Like when you choose something from an array of options, that's you choosing it. But when you have fear of choking, you are not really choosing it. It's your fear which is choosing it for you. So that's the difference. And once you overcome this fear of choking, it simply means that you can eat the kind of food you want. It's if you want to take carbs, you want to take which kind of protein, you can eat that kind of food you want, because the mind knows that the food in itself, or the food you're about to protect, is not harmful to you or will not lead to you choking. Yeah, and that's what happens when you overcome this fear of choking. You end up eating meals normally, like the way you did in the past, like the way you did before. Your mind ended up adopting this choking as, or the act of swallowing as a threat to you. Let me know your thoughts on some of the meals you prefer, or some of the things you detest if you are suffering from swallowing anxiety. Hope that makes sense, guys. Until next time, have a nice day.